Here's another amazing story from season 2.
He would open my eyes to more about who I was. And I mean, deep is not a word I would use to describe myself ever, but he thought
you see, the thing is, a lot of persons see her outward appearance and they form an opinion about who she is. You know, this is just this pretty girl that come on TV. But
pretty ones.
No. They can't say that because you were very bright.
I saw the people that did say.
But when I began to talk to her, I realized that her inner beauty was far exceeding what her outward appearance reflected, and I was drawn to that. Hi, I'm Odean.
And I'm Alysia.
And you're watching
Forever I Do.
This is Forever I Do. After 12 years of marriage, it's still such a delight. We wrap up this season with Odean and Alysia White.
So I was on TV hosting the morning show, and my girlfriend worked at the same place he worked at. And he knew, and every day he would say to her, "Can you tell Alysia hi for me? Kadia, can you tell Alysia hi for me? Can you tell Alysia hi for me?" And I just got annoyed. I was like, why the man can't tell me hello himself? So one morning after the morning show, Kadia used to call me all the time, just check up on me. How was the show? How did it go? Are you feeling okay? You know. And I went that day when she called me and she said, "Odean said to tell you hi." I said, "Transfer the call. Transfer the call. God, this is crazy." This is now like about 2 months of tell Alysia hi. Tell Alysia she made me late for work. Tell her. So she transferred me, and I said, "Hi, Odean White." He said, "Yes." I said, "This is Alysia Moulton." And he said,
I didn't say so many, maybe one or two, but okay.
Fine, one or two. Okay. And then he said, "Yes. Hi, how are you?" I said, "I'm good. Do you have a pen?" And he said, "Yes." I said, "Well, write this down, please." And I gave him my email address, and I said, "No more messages through Kadia. Have a great day." And then I hung up the phone, and then he sent me an email. I can't remember where he got my phone number. Probably via email, he asked.
You gave me your phone.
Okay. So,
yes.
This was in like September. We didn't meet till February.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So that's when you ask when did we first meet, that's the truth. We met on February 11. We were genuinely friends, I think, from the onset. I think we connected well. We had a lot in common. We were very family oriented, and we started to talk about things that we had in common and what we shared. I realized that she was very deep. She had a lot of depth to her. So even though I was only seeing her on TV, the more we spoke, the more I realized that she's really deep, and I consider myself to be a deep person as well. So we meshed in that way.
And I never considered myself deep.
No, but she had a lot of depth.
So in talking to him and us discussing, life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, and whatever, he would open my eyes to more about who I was. And I mean, deep is not a word I would use to describe myself ever, but he thought.
You see, the thing is, a lot of persons see her outward appearance and they form an opinion about who she is. This is just this pretty girl that come on TV. But
pretty ones.
No. They can't say that because you were very bright.
That's what the people them did say.
But when I began to talk to her, I realized that her inner beauty was far exceeding what her outward appearance reflected, and I was drawn to that more and more as we spoke. So even though we were talking and we didn't meet, it was as if we were longtime friends because we just connected well and we spoke every day. And then when we finally met now, I was like, boy, can't get better than this.
It was an eventuality. I mean, we didn't start off talking every day, but we would communicate by MSN Messenger. That's how way back.
I don't know if everybody even knows what that is.
Right? People probably don't know what that is now. But it was kind of mutual, and then deciding where we would go. He didn't eat pork, so we decided he would go to Rib Cage, and we would have him taste pork.
Yeah, this is not a very proud moment, but yes.
And
that was the first time I had pork, and it was good. It was good. I was liberated that day. Yeah.
But my girlfriend Katia, she decided that she's gonna come with us. So it wasn't just, we didn't have a first date alone. Right. It was the three of us.
Right. And the reason that she came along was we agreed that, just to make sure that, the first meeting is not too awkward.
Yeah.
And I can share this, she was coming out of a very, tenuous relationship, and so was I. So we weren't trying to
had come out
of, yeah. So we weren't trying to, do anything too soon.
We never want there with one another.
Yeah, we just wanted to keep it very light, and having a third party there would certainly help that. So it was good. It was a good time. I brought her a gift, right? It wasn't the traditional flowers. It was a necklace that I saw, and I saw that it would be something that she would like. I didn't know exactly for sure, but she ended up liking it. So I did well. I think I did well on that first date. And then 3 days later, it was Valentine's Day. And I don't even remember what we did, but that first date just stood out in my mind because all of what we were talking about, all the connecting from months before, just culminated really well that night, and it was memorable.
And we started to go on dates by ourselves.
We used to teeth out and go. Yeah.
And went on dates by ourselves.
Yep.
And the friendship developed. We were friends, and I'm a Christian, and he wasn't a Christian at the time when we met. And he started to come to church, and that's how it was the furthest thing from my mind to become involved in another relationship. I just did not want that. And I think from his friendship, I think I felt, when you feel like hope again, that's how I felt talking to Odean all the time. And I think we decided that, okay, he was in a very bad car accident in June following when we met, was thrown from his car, and somebody had ran a red light. And I remember that night I felt like I was going to die. When he called me, said he was in an accident. He doesn't know if he's okay, but I was the first person he called. And then I called his mother, and we were not together, but I really truly felt like I would die if something happened to him. And then I think after that it was full speed ahead, really. Yeah.
A lot of persons think that you have to hear this voice from the sky that says this is your soulmate, this is no, we took a decision. We had very clear direction. She was very well mentored and raised in her church. She knew exactly what she was about, what her purpose was. I knew, and I became aware of that as well when I became a Christian. And so we, as two consenting adults, we said, listen, this is an arrangement that we can build something together on. And we decided that we wanted to get married. It was as simple as that. It wasn't, oh, you know, I heard that from a dream and no.
Or the Lord told me. No.
And this is why I want us to be very careful about, you know, when God speaks. God gives us free will, and we get to choose, you know, and we have to know that we are choosing according to His will. So it was our choice, and we said, let's do it. And I believe it was the best decision that I made.
So, fun fact, my wedding has been planned since I was 12. I didn't need any help from no groom. He arrived.
Very accurate.
I didn't need his help. I had it planned. I've been tearing out wedding dresses out of books at hairdresser since I was 12 years old. I've been writing it down. Everything was already planned. Okay?
I just needed to be present at the wedding, and so that's what I did. The wedding was, I don't even know how to describe it. It was surreal. She had me waiting for 45 minutes at the altar.
I didn't, oh my
and I was in
He
in
forgot to
deep
print
thoughts.
his wedding vows.
No, that's not the point. I was waiting for 45 minutes. And I was in deep thought, and I literally saw our lives just unfold over the years. You know, we would have children, we'd serve in ministry together, because she's passionate about young people, so am I. You know, I started to see businesses, and just things just started to come to me, and I got excited even though I was waiting for 45 minutes. I got excited, and I was overwhelmed when I saw her coming down the aisle. My best man at the time, Lenoy, you know, he was very observant, and he saw the tears, and then, you know, he did his job. But it was just an overwhelming occasion, and just seeing how God's plan just started to unfold before my eyes. And today I can say that, you know, everything that we've gone through, it was well worth it. That day it was well worth it.
It was very fairy tale. It was very, I did have my big princess dress with my spaghetti straps, my hair up in one, the veil to the thing, and then the veil must cover this thing, and daddy must lift over. Everything went the way I wanted it to. The choir was there, the choir dressed in white coming down the stairs. Yeah, it was everything. The only thing is, the wedding is not the marriage. And I don't think I realized that until the wedding was over. I was the dead last person to leave the Jamaica Pegasus ballroom, because I couldn't believe that all these years of planning ended in 7 hours. That's it. The end. I'm like, can we do a take two? Because let's do it again, because it was just so special, so magical to me. But yeah, finish. Done, gone.
That was my experience as well.
That's it.
You know, we get to start a journey now together. The wedding is over.
Yeah.
It was wonderful.
Lovely wedding.
Everybody had a good time, but you know, at the end of the day, we have to go home by ourselves, start our life together. And that was what got me excited about the marriage, because we got to start something that was really special. We felt convicted that, you know, God was in the middle of our relationship, and we have kept Him there over the years, and that's what's important. But everything that we've been through, the ups, the downs, everything, you know, I think looking back, it was well worth it, because had we not been through those experiences and gotten a taste of the goodness of God towards us in bringing us through those dark moments, we would not be here today to tell you this, you know. So it's been 12 years, but we're looking forward to all the other years to come.
One of the things that, if you get married like we did and lived apart, and then upon the wedding, some people don't do that. Some people live together before and then they just decide to get married. Fine. But for us, and for those persons who live separately, like he lived with his mother, and I lived on my own. My parents had migrated. So I lived on my own for, I think, 1.5 or 2 years before we got married. And somebody's coming into your house, but they will never leave. it's not like your boyfriend going to his house at like 10 o'clock when it, you know, or whenever. He's not leaving. He's here to stay. Lord Jesus.
Yeah, this one, the transition is rough. Let me just be honest. You know, I'm used to being, you know, in a certain, you know, what do you call it now, mindset, and I don't share space normally. I just have my own way and I do what I want to do in my space. But coming into a relationship with somebody who is as particular as Alysia is about how her place needs to be, and she was also living on her own at the time, so it was, you know, two worlds coming together. And I think, apart from it being rough, it was a learning experience, because, you know, see me and come live with me is two different things. So I used to have to learn how to not leave the toilet seat up, pick up my things off the floor. You know, my thing was wash dishes. She cooks, I wash the dishes. So it was a partnership, and we had to learn how to partner with each other to have a peaceable home. But it was rough. I can just be honest. It was rough.
I believe in 2 separate bathrooms, but we don't have that.
Sorry.
But yeah, no.
We don't have a time to talk about that.
Not to mention when, I mean, we're not there yet, but not to mention when children come into the picture, it prepares you in a different way, in a different light, to share yourself. Because that's in essence what you're doing when you get married. You're not getting married for, and I think this is something that people probably get a little bit twisted, you're not getting married to just have a fabulous romance for the whole rest of your life and flowers of the thing. You're getting married to literally share yourself. When I signed that paper on my wedding day, my pastor said to me, I hope you realize you just gave your life away. And that's in essence what you're doing. You're sharing your space. So it was rough. But I think the type of people that we are we're naturally, and to a fault, selfless. That helped with the marriage scenario. So it was rough for maybe like a couple months, but I mean, we got into the groove of it. Yeah, we figured it out.
She's my brethren.
Yeah.
First and foremost.
Is my friend.
Is my brethren.
Is my friend.
When we have that foundation of friendship, or, you know, I'm glad we did it that way, that we took the time to be friends and to build that foundation, because, you know, not every time in a marriage is going to be, you know, a bed of roses. There are going to be times when you argue, you have disagreements, but at the end of the day, we're friends, and we know that at our core, we're in this thing for the long haul. So, I mean, it is what it is. We had our ups and downs in the first 6 months, but after that, we found our groove, and we've been growing and building each other.
It is the worst thing to find out something brand new about your husband that you never knew before, something that he's thinking, something that puzzles him, something that bothers him. It's hard to do that. People only know each other well when they're friends, not necessarily husband and wife. Boyfriend and girlfriend, forget about it. When you're friends, you feel like there's trust, there's partnership. That's what happens in a friendship. The marriage is an elevation of a friendship in my mind. And you asked the question about what keeps us through the rough times. I would say that our foundation, being on God, is paramount. But also, we have to have other marriages to look to, you know. If you don't have, you have to, I mean, think about it. We learn from teachers who, like you teach in math. You teach, a math teacher teaches you because they know math well. And we have quite a few married couples in our life,
yeah,
who have mentored us. I remember the first time he said he wants us to go to counseling. I said, for what? What's wrong? Wait, what's happening? You think something wrong? I was losing my mind. He said, no, I just want to go for a checkup with the pastor. Just for a checkup. I said, okay. I mean, and it worked. It helps to just have that pulse check every so often.
Yeah, and we value our leaders because they have experiences that we don't. We don't have it all figured out, and we never will. So we value those relationships that we've forged over the years. Big up to Pastor Che. real friend, and his wife, of course.
But we've had a history of miscarriages, right? And our first miscarriage would have been our first child. We cried when we found out we were pregnant. We cried when that baby died. We cried through it, but we held on to each other. That has helped us with children, because when there was loss, it was just the two of us. And when our first child came, she was and still is very dynamic and loud and disruptive, and so she wouldn't sleep at night, for example. And those first four days, Jesus have mercy, God, I wanted to give her back. But I think, to be honest, I've felt that he has put our children before me in my mind. And he has said to me, up to recently actually, up to last month, why would you think that? You're my world. You come first in everything that we do. But as a woman, sometimes, I don't know if it's as a woman, but as Alysia, sometimes I feel like the children have come first for him. And he has explained to me, the children need us more than you might need me in any situation. And I have to pick them up from school. I have to, I have to do this, that, the other, everything for them, because they just can't do it for themselves yet. So sometimes I do miss alone time. Sometimes I miss sleeping alone with him in my bed, because inevitably, almost every night, there's somebody else crawling in between us. On top, in our head, stepping, yeah. And including them in the marriage is what has kept us he's feeling me up, and my children are watching. Daddy, why are you doing that? And
they don't really say much anymore, though. I think they've kind of
including them in the marriage is what has helped. So they see us kiss, they see us hug up, they see all kind of something.
Yeah, one thing with the children, though, when the children came, I had to remind myself that, the priority is my wife and then my children. And once I understood that, and that was ingrained in me, I was able to identify when I'm slipping. So when I'm, I call it boundaries. So when I realize I'm not spending as much time with her as I used to or I need to, then I will draw the line and I will say, all right, girls, mommy and daddy going on the road. We're just going for a few hours. Don't worry, we'll be back soon. And just take that time to just reconnect with her. So the priority is always important. Knowing your priorities is important. And for me, that's God, and then myself, and then my wife, and then my children. Now, as we grow older, as we grow into this family union or unit, they need to see our example as a standard. So that's also another function of how I operate as a father. The way I relate to her, they need to see that, so that when their time comes to be courted, that is what the standard is. Mm-hmm. So we don't fight, we don't shout or anything like that in front of each other. And if we ever do, who reprimands us?
Our children.
The children.
Daddy,
they say,
stop shouting.
Mommy, stop shouting. And so that is already a part of their psyche, that mommy and daddy are not supposed to shout at each other. Because there's respect, there's love, there's honor. And once they see that, and once we maintain that, then our family will be kept together. And
don't wait till everything go wrong.
Yeah, it's not as dramatic as that. It's literally just saying, let's talk about where we are now and where we're heading. Because I'm a planner. I'm also very goal oriented. So for us to get to our goals, I want to know if where we are now is positioning us to get to those goals. And so my mentor, which is also her mentor, which works, whenever he's available, we'll talk to him and we'll just, it's not like a counseling session, but let's just hear, what your thoughts are. Our friend, or her friend, recently we had a sit down with her, her best friend, and we were just sharing, we're just being vulnerable with her, and that safe space allowed her to tell us some things that she's observing about how we relate to each other. So having people who you can trust and have a safe space with will help your marriage to grow and to flourish, because you cannot have a successful marriage on your own. Mm-hmm. It just doesn't work like that. That was not how God designed it or created it to be. He created us to be a part of a family where you have husband and wife, you have uncle, auntie, children, whatever the case may be. And so we have been fortunate and blessed, really, to have people in our lives that we trust, that we can be vulnerable to every now and again.
That word that you just said is also pretty key. So if you're thinking of getting married, and if you are married already, and you have not learned the art of vulnerability, for you to be vulnerable to your husband or to your wife, you are going to have a problem. You, like I said, you're sharing yourself with someone and they're sharing themselves with you. And if you can't be vulnerable, you can't receive or give love the way you should. And vulnerability is hard, but it's also a brave thing to do. So being open to being hurt is not easy. When I'm vulnerable to Odean, there's nobody that can hurt me like him. I mean, when I think of what he could do to really crush me and crush my spirit, it's terrifying. Yet I've lent myself to him. I've shared my whole heart with him already. And he knows that. And me being vulnerable to him makes him feel like I must protect this heart that has been entrusted into my hands.
And it works both ways. So
yeah,
she's
absolutely.
not just vulnerable to me, but I'm vulnerable to her.
Absolutely.
And the very same effect that I can have on her, she can have on me.
Absolutely.
But the important thing is that we understand that God is who holds us together. So even when we're vulnerable with each other, it's not to a not end. It is God who is in the center, teaching us how to be vulnerable with each other, how to love each other, how to have that fusion of two lives, two personalities coming together. He's the author of marriage. He's the one who said, it's not good for a man to be alone. So he created an Eve and put them in the garden, right? And so we have been modeling that formula or that model that God has created, and we intend to keep doing that, because that's the only way to be a successful married couple, to do it the way that it was designed to be done.
Thank you so much, Odean and Alysia. Here's to many more years of happiness and wedded bliss. On the next episode of Forever I Do,
lady Havana got her from the wedding morning, from the morning of the wedding, right? It's sweaty. And the husband are going to take it off for his wife and fling it to a bunch of strange men. Why? Why?
And we're here to take all the worries out of your hands. So we are the one-stop shop for you. So you can take time to make sure you visit the family members, visit the priest to get your one-on-one talk with yourself and the groom and everyone. Get your hair done, get your makeup done, worry about your dress and your suit, and we'll take care of the rest.
Well, before the wedding day, you actually have a makeup artist that you have booked and will do a consultation with you. At this time, a lot of makeup artists are doing virtual consultations because of COVID, of course. You can have a virtual meeting and go through the look that you would like to do and pick and choose and just decide. What this does is save the time on the wedding day.
And that really put it off. It's not about giving the jokes, it's sharing those stories in a way that will engage people. Remember, say, yeah, it's true. When you get them say, yes, it's true, say, yeah, when they're laughing about it, So the critical thing is to really get to know them.
What we did was even partnered with AV Concept and designed a unlisted streaming package. So your loved ones abroad who can't come still can be a part of the whole experience.
Because some jokes, some stories you want to keep to yourself, because maybe the couple didn't have that conversation. The bride maybe never share with her husband some things that happened back in kindergarten or whatever. You don't really want to share now. And then you come up and start saying all these things. The bride might be a bit offended or feeling hurt that, oh, what's going on here? So
you move on now to the reception. This is where you can get crazy with your designs, absolutely creative. You think about, again, a menu. Persons love to know what they will eat and what time they will get to eat. If you're having an unplugged wedding, which is basically having no phones or cell phones around, this is where you need more signage than usual.
Thanks for tuning in. See you next week. Makeup services provided by Nardine Beauty. Coordination and planning, Shakima Hines of Island Brides, Jamaica. Forever I Do is filmed on location at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel, your wedding destination in Kingston, Jamaica.